Here we have Champagne Dance, and I am pretty obsessed with this mare. She is exceptionally nice, just beautiful moving. She is so fun to ride. She just floats around. And if you think that her trot is lovely, just wait until you see her canter. I give it a 5 stars. It is fantastic. Anyway, she's been here for about a week, and this is her first post track ride from yesterday. And it was a freezing cold, windy morning, and it was like 9 a.m. when we did this, and she was excellent and did a phenomenal job of handling the weather going on at the time. Anyway, she's 4 years old. I can't remember if I said that. She's about 16 hands. She wasn't very fond of the stick being next to her, so I would say she's somewhere between 15 3.5 and 16 hands. She's just gorgeous. I mean, not only is she a beautiful mover, but she also just has this big white blaze and 3 socks, and oh God, she just is. I love looking at her. I love watching her move too. I was really happy when I watched this video back. I thought she felt amazing. I mean, when she picked up the trot, I turned and said to Billy, wow, I really like this mare. And then when I watched the video back just now, I thought, yep, it looks just as nice as it felt. So anyway, she was great at the mounting block. And so we're just working on, obviously she's lovely moving. She wants to make the correct shape. She's a little bit distracted by everything going on outside of and around the ring, and keeping in mind that it was wicked windy when we were doing this ride. So, things are blowing, the barrels in the corner are rattling, the lead rope that's snatched to the side of the fence is blowing in the wind. So it was all just sort of very loud and bustling. So I don't blame her at all for being a little bit distracted. Like, you can see every time she comes down this long side, she's going towards the road. She's facing the road. And so, trucks and traffic are going by. And honestly, it's sort of funny. Sometimes they're just sort of mesmerized by the big field across the street. It's just a big blank field, but they just can, I don't know what it is. They just really do get mesmerized by it sometimes. Anyway, she was, especially for such a nice moving horse, she has a lot of movement. She doesn't necessarily know how to place all of it, but she was extremely straight in her shoulders. I mean, I found her extremely easy, and this was a super easy first ride for a horse. So basically, all I'm doing is I'm just trying to have a conversation with her about starting to establish the connection, keeping her shoulders straight. After we trotted around to the left a little bit, of course, I asked her to canter. She picked up a beautiful right leg canter. I mean, just in such a nice balance. And then she was happy to do a counter canter down the long side and around the corner, which I was thrilled with. And I was thinking, oh my God, I just love this horse so much. So then we circled there at the top of the ring. I asked her again, and she got the left lead, which was great. Her canter is just super. I mean, it is balanced. It's pretty ground covering, actually, especially for not a very big horse. She does eat up the ground in her canter. She's traveling in her canter. She's going somewhere. She's obviously not hot at all and very comfortable within her own rhythm and her own balance, but quite an athletic canter. Unbelievable feel. I mean, just so fun. And, she makes an even better natural shape. The roundness comes easier to her in the canter than in the trot, which is fantastic. And she was just so good about not leaning at the gate. And God, she was just fantastic. These are some really nice steps here after she did her canter work. Yep, then something catches her eye at the end of the ring, so I have to sort of ask her to get her brain back on me, which she does. Yeah, really nice corner there. Super straight through her outside shoulder. So when we went to the right was a little bit of her tougher direction. I mean, she's actually fairly equal both ways, I think. But, she's a little bit more unsteady in the connection to the right. Had to work a little bit more for the right bend. Totally normal. What you just saw, if you saw that trip, is her reaching up and pulling off her left front shoe. So I was a little annoyed at myself because after that happened, I got kind of grumpy, and I was grumbling to Billy when we were doing this now because I was so annoyed that she just pulled off her shoe because she literally had just gotten done the day before And I had just had a different horse pull off a shoe a few days ago. And so I don't know, I was just annoyed at all the shoes being pulled. But anyway, she felt okay without the shoe, and I knew we were almost done, so I just decided just to ride her for a few more minutes and get this done. And actually, she got the shoe back on today, so she hardly was without it. So thank you to Zach. You're an amazing farrier. So it's the same thing here in the right. She's so good about not leaning at the gate here as we go down this short side. A lot of kicking there with the outside leg. And I'm just, having a conversation with her mouth, moving my fingers, trying to move the bit in her mouth a little bit to encourage her to reach out for the connection. So there she sort of gets it, a little bit of a head twist, a little bit mouth open, but then here she takes some really lovely steps. And then, oops, something catches her eye. We definitely have to look at that. But then she comes back and she gives me some more really nice steps here. Excuse me. I'm still recovering. She has a phenomenal right leg canter transition. She just steps into that canter so beautifully. So a little bit more unsteady in the connection, going to the right. But that is just totally picking. I mean, I think that this mare is spectacular. And also, I was riding grumpy at this point, so I really needed to be done soon, even though I had no right to be. She was being such a good girl. So then I thought I would try sitting the canter a little bit, which of course is so much harder. That requires more strain through their back and their hind end. I'm asking her to sit down more. So that was a little bit hard for her, but she was very willing to try. I mean, she's engaging, she's thinking, she's putting effort into it. And I just wanted her a little bit rounder here. I wanted her to sort of come to the end of the rein a little bit more. So I'm still asking. I'm not giving up on it yet. And then I think she does give me a couple of nice steps. Yes, here. Okay, so here she softens her top line, and then that was good enough. I felt like she answered the question. And then super nice in the trot when we came back. And if she hadn't have just pulled a shoe, I probably would have trotted around to the right a little bit more because it felt like when she came down from that canter, like she had the right connection, super steady and easy. But I wanted her to be done because she pulled the shoe, so I didn't want to make her sore. And then we just got some walking and then her on the cross ties at the end.